Well, hello and welcome everyone. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create a timesheet in Power Apps. So we will build a timesheet that looks like this. So I'll show you how it works. So you can enter a job number. You can select the employee, and it will identify their supervisor's name. You can select the billing type. Now if you choose regular hours, you can also enter the time. You see the employee's name shows up here. So if she works 8 hours on Monday, you can enter her time right here. You can also fill out her time for the rest of the week. And it will calculate the hours. You can also display her sick and vacation hours. So we're going to build this timesheet from scratch. All right. So I have a blank Power App. First thing I want to do is create a label. I'll call it timesheet. Let's change the background color. All right. As we go along, if you have any questions or comments, just put it in the chat. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the current date. So I'm going to insert another label. And so it displays today's date. So this is the formula for that. It's using the text function and the now function and displaying today's date, which is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to insert a label. Put it right here. It's going to display the current work week. Let's make it bigger. All right. So you got the work week. Let's make this bold as well. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to connect to a SharePoint list. So I'm going to go to data, add data, type in SharePoint, go to SharePoint. My SharePoint site is called test, and I'm looking for a SharePoint list called TBL_calendar. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. Go to the SharePoint list. All right. So this is what the TBL_calendar SharePoint list looks like. It has a column called week, a column called start date, a column called end date, and a column called work week. All right. So this is where you need to pause the video and just put in these 4 entries with these dates here. Okay. Go back to Power Apps. All right, so I connected to that SharePoint list, right? TBL_calendar. Now I'm going to insert a drop-down control. Put it right here. And then inside of the items property of the drop-down, I'm going to type in name of the SharePoint list, right? Over here where it says value, I'm going to put in name. So name is the where it shows the actual week, the current week that you're in. Okay. And we're going to start laying out the columns to build our gallery for the timesheet. Let me, I'm copying something right now. All right. Oh, it won't let me paste it. Okay. We'll just do it by here. So I'm going to go to text label. So I'm going to put it's going to be the week. Let's give it another color. All right, the next column is job number. Then we have select the employee. Next one is supervisor. Next one is select the billing type. Let's move this over here some. All right. Now we're going to put in the days of the week. Before I do that, I'm going to rename this control and call it work week dropdown. So this is called work week dropdown. All right. That control right there. Okay. Then I'm going to put in a formula that will capture the day of the week and the date. All right. I'm zooming so you can see. So we have Monday. It's using the text function and a lookup on the TBL underscore calendar SharePoint lists, and it's giving us the date for Monday, and that's tomorrow's date. Okay, now I can just simply resize some of these first. All right, so I've got Monday copied, paste it, and just change out Monday for Tuesday. And right here is where we're going to put start date plus 1. So now we have Tuesday's date. And we'll just repeat that. Let me give myself some more room. So this one's going to be Wednesday. Now I'll show you why I'm doing this. Once I get the rest of the days. So Thursday is plus 4. And we'll just do it until Friday. Friday's plus 5. All right. So why did I do that? Why did I have this formula like this? Because we're looking at the first week, work week. So I can go to the second week, and these dates will change dynamically. So I go to the second week. Now we don't have to change these dates. They'll change for us automatically. Okay. So let's go back to week 1. Um, we need to put the total hours at the end. Just grab one of these labels. Total hours. All right. Looks good so far, right? Okay. Now we need to start building the timesheet. Just looking at something here. All right. So I'm going to insert a put it right here. All right. And in the on select property of the button, I'm going to create a collection. All right. I'm creating a collection called Timesheet Lines. Okay. Now, all I have to do is press this button one time and it's going to create the collection. So I press the button. We go to variables, go to collections. You see that the timesheet lines collection was created. Right? It's a blank line or a blank collection, nothing inside of it. And so now I'm ready to create a gallery for the timesheet. So I'm going to create a blank vertical gallery. Let's move it down here. Move this up. All right. Check something. All right, so I'm going to change the label of this button or text to the button. Call it add a line. Okay? You'll see what this does in a minute. Now, let's make sure that this collection or this gallery is looking at the collection. Collection was called timesheet lines. All right? Okay, so we got our gallery connected to our collection. All right, so we can start putting in objects in our gallery. So I'm going to insert a text label. And this is going to be looking at the current week that we're in. So this formula right here is getting our week number. Again, we'll do another lookup on TBL_calendar, and we're just getting the current week from the work week dropdown. Center that. Let's save our work. All right, so this week number We're on week 1. Well, if we go to the second week, we should get 2. Week 3 and week 4, right? Let me move this down. Right there. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's keep building our timesheet. I'm going to insert a text input. This can be for the job number. I'll leave it like that. Just take this text out. So we're allowing the person to enter the job number. Now I'm going to insert a drop down for the employee. All right, so I need to connect to another SharePoint list. Go to the test site. What's this? Do it again. Employee. All right. We're going to connect that drop down to our SharePoint list. Now we need to change this so it's looking at the name. All right, we have that. I have another employee. It's not the right one. I have another SharePoint list called employee. Let's see what this is. All right, well, we have to build that. All right, so let's go on to putting in the hours. That's really what I want to show you. So let me go to text input. All right, so I'm gonna call this. It's important that you rename these controls. It's gonna be called Monday hours. Copy this. Make sure we're centered. So this one's gonna be Tuesday hours. If you have any questions in the chat, let me know. Wednesday hours. Thursday hours. This would be Friday hours. Last one is going to be called total hours. Adjust this a little. Okay. So we're going to put our supervisor here. We're going to create an employee table from scratch since I don't have the one I want. Just add these other controls in here. Just a little. All right. So now we're going to create a SharePoint list. All right. While that's going on, I'm going to go back to Power Apps. I'm going to create another button. All right, so this is going to clear the timesheet. So I'm going to change the text to clear. And in the onSelect property of this button, I'm going to clear the collection called timesheet lines right here. All right. So what does that mean? So as we're putting in information in here, right? We're adding another line. Now we see this, right? We can adjust spacing. So we add another line, right? We can press clear and it gets rid of everything. So that's what the clear button does. Let me adjust the spacing again. Right here. All right, so now it's looking at an actual timesheet. Let me check on that SharePoint list. Yeah, so it's ready now. Go back. All right, so I'm gonna create a brand new SharePoint list. I'll call it employee. All right, so I'm going to add a column. Call it Supervisor. I'm gonna start typing in some employees. So see, John Davis. Supervisor is Kelly Smith. Howard Jones. Supervisor for Howard Jones would be Billy King. All right, I'll just do those two. So I need to go back to Power Apps and connect to this SharePoint list. SharePoint. Test site employee. Select the drop down for the employee. Using this SharePoint list, we can get rid of this other one. All right. So let's go to the right value, which is title. Now we need to create a lookup to get the supervisor. So I'm going to select, let me clear this. I'm going to select the text control for text input for a supervisor and use the lookup function. Employee SharePoint list. Where the title column equals this. What's this name? What the name? I'll call this employee drop down. Employee drop down. Selected text dot title. Okay, it doesn't like title. What about name? Name is invalid. What are the choices? Hold on. Look at something. There we go. What is this? Alright, just took some time for it to find it. Alright, so we have employee selected, John Davis. His supervisor is Kelly Smith. Let me show you this formula. So we're looking at the SharePoint list called employee, and it's matching the employee drop-down selection, which is John Davis, and it's trying to find the supervisor in that SharePoint list. So it returns Kelly Smith. So if we were to change the employee's name to Howard Jones, we'll get Billy King as the supervisor. All right. Okay, so now let's look at getting the billing type. So I have a SharePoint list I need to connect to. It's called TBL underscore billing, right? Connect. So I'm gonna select the drop down and point to that SharePoint list. Okay. And we need to change the value. Might be title. All right, what is it? Billing type. Let me look at the SharePoint list real quick. Let's go to site contents. Here it is. TBL underscore billing. All right, yeah, we just have billing type column. Okay. So let me go back to Power Apps. All right, so here it is. It showed up. So we have regular, sick leave, vacation, leave without pay, and holiday. All right. So now what I want to do is I want the user to enter the hours, but I don't want them to enter the hours directly in here. I want a dialog box to appear. So I need to give myself some more room here, first of all. So I'm going to move this stuff to the left. this over. If you have any questions of what I went over so far, just put it in a chat and I'll take a look at it. Let's move this over here. All right, let's go. Make these smaller, the text smaller so I could, I'm gonna put another button over here. That's why I'm doing all this. Let's try 10. All right, so now, move this down. There you go. There you go. Come on. Here you go. Eyeball it. Make sure about the same size. Okay. All right. So we are going to add another button in the gallery. Make sure we're in the gallery. So I'm gonna put it right here. I'm just going to put a T. So this is going to be our time entry button. Okay. Let me look at something real quick. All right, so I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it Bill 2 dropdown. Right? Bill 2 dropdown. So what I want is when they select regular, I want to disable these controls. Right, so right now it's selected regular. So I'm going to select these controls. And I'm going to go to disabled or display mode. And put in this. So this is the if statement that says if the Bill 2 dropdown selected value is regular, disable the controls. If it's not, we're going to edit it. So what does that mean? When I select regular, I cannot type in any of these controls. But if I select any other billing type, I can put in hours. So that's exactly what I wanted. Because when I go to regular, I want them to use the time entry button to put in the hours. All right. I'm going to disable this one too. So display mode dot disabled. All right. And let me go ahead and put in a formula for that total hours. So I got total hours selected. Let me see. I'm going to go to default property of that control. See, this is why it's important to rename your controls. We don't have Saturday and Sunday, so we can get rid of that. We just did Monday through Friday. So we have our formula. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. We're using the with statement. We have our controls for Monday through Friday, and we're just adding those hours so we can get total hours here. Okay? Now let me look at something here. Add a line. Yeah, I need to adjust the spacing. Okay. See, now it looks like a timesheet. All right. Now I think we're ready to create the dialog box to enter the work hours for regular. Just look at something here. All right. I'm going to put this on a new screen and then move the dialog box back to the original screen so I have some room. Nope. All right, so I'm going to create a rectangle. Change this color. Insert a label. Enter time. All right. In this drop down, I want to be able to display the current name of the employee. So I'm going to insert a text label, put it right here, and then so it'll show John Davis because he's the current employee on screen one. So if I selected Howard Jones, you would see Howard Jones is here. All right. What do we have next? Need a label called select the workday. Right there. Then I'm going to create a drop down. It's going to have the days of the week. So Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. Right? Next, I'm going to put in the labels for the time they come in to work, time they go to lunch, and all that. So time in, center that. It's going to be called lunch in. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Lunch out. This one's going to be called time out. All right, so now I'm going to show you a SharePoint list that I already have. It's called find it. Okay. It's called TBL underscore time entry. And it has all the times. So it's just a SharePoint list with the times in 5-second increments, or actually 5-minute increments, starting from midnight all the way down to this one's until 8:15. All right. So I'm going to use this SharePoint list. Go back to Power Apps. All right, so let me connect to that SharePoint list. Right here, time entry. All right, now I'm going to insert a drop down. Put it right here. So go to items property, go to time entry. Um, Name. Yeah, it's the name column. So now we have all our times. I'm going to copy this, paste it. All right, let's make this look a little better. Okay. Uh, let's see now. We need to make sure that these are named. So this one's going to be called time or in time dropdown. All right. The next one is called lunch in dropdown. This one's going to be called lunch out dropdown. And the last one's going to be called out time dropdown. All right. I'm going to create another label. It's going to be total hours here. I'm going to create a text input. Actually, no. Yeah, that's fine. Text input. And I'm going to call this text input time entry hours. All right, so let's make sure we got the right names here. Zoom in. We got time entry hours for the total hours. We have our in time drop down, our lunch in drop down, our lunch out drop down, and our out time drop down. All right. So now I need the formula for the total hours. I'll zoom in so you can see it. Here we go. All right, so we're doing a date difference between the in time drop down and the lunch out drop down. So I'll show you. So if we were to put in, say, 8 o'clock, Howard Jones comes into work at 8 o'clock. He goes to lunch at 12, comes back from lunch at 1 o'clock, and leaves work at 5 o'clock. His total work hours is 8. So between 8 and 12 is 4. And then when he comes back to work at 1, so 1 o'clock to 5 is 4. So 4 and 4 is 8. Now let me change this. I'm going to display mode, change that to disabled. All right. I'm going to create a button. Just going to call it insert. So we're going to insert the hours, these hours, into our timesheet. Create another button to close this form or dialog box. Close. Let me create another rectangle. Let's go to send backward. Actually do it this way. Bring to front. Change this color, something else. All right. So now we have our dialog box. Get something here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything in here. I'm going to group all these objects. So I'll go to group. This group is going to be called time entry dialog. Right? Time entry dialog. Before I put it on the other screen, I'm going to select the close button. Oh, let me see here. No, let me go to the other screen first. And I'm going to select the time button right here. It says T. And I'm creating a update context variable. It's called time entry dialog box. Now we're going to set this to true. And go back to that other screen. And this is going to be set to false. Right here. The reason why we're getting that error because we haven't. Oh, yeah. Now what I'm gonna do now is let me move this. Put it on the other sheet or other screen. Make sure I have everything selected. And I'm going to go to the visible property. And refer to the variable time entry dialog, right? All right, so the way it works is I press the T button. I need to make the this rectangle a different color. Let's try this one. All right, that looks better. Move this just the size a little. There we go. All right. So any questions on how I created that? Okay, so we have this dialog box created. We can close it and we can open it, right? So now what we want to do is, remember when we select regular, they're going to enter the time in here and then press this insert button to put in the hours for the day that's selected. Let me look at something. All right, so in this insert button right here, make this right there. All right. So I press this insert button. Like I said, I want the hours to be in the gallery. So if I go to the on select property of the insert button, it's going to be a pretty long formula or piece of code, but I'm gonna walk you through it. Hold on a second. Okay. I need to this right here. I need to rename this label. Okay, this is called this drop down here. Rename this. So this is called workday drop down. All right, so now we don't have any errors. renamed everything. So what this is doing right here is we have an if statement, right? And it's looking at the employee dropdown, this employee dropdown, right? And it's saying if that dropdown, the value of that dropdown, if it matches this dropdown or it matches this label, which it does, um, then it's doing a switch statement. So it's saying, okay, if Monday is selected in here, it's going to put the hours in for Monday. If Tuesday was selected, it'll put the hours in for Tuesday. So let's just test it. So I'm gonna put in time for Monday. Let's say John Davis comes to work at 7, goes to lunch at 12, comes back to lunch at 1 o'clock, and he leaves work at 4. So a total of 8 hours. So when I hit insert, it's going to put 8 hours here. Oh, one thing I forgot to add. We need to do a patch. So I'm going to add a patch statement right below this. All right, so I have I have to save it. I have to connect to the there's a SharePoint list. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. It's called TBL save time entry. Let's just go to that real quick. Let's see. Right here. TBL save time entry. I'm gonna clear out all this. So okay. So in this SharePoint list, we have the week number, employee, the end time, lunch in, lunch out, time out, weekday, work day, and date and time. So we're going to save the information into this SharePoint list. All right. So let me go back to Power Apps. I need to connect to that SharePoint list. Move this up. There it is. TBL save time entry. Let me save our work. What's the error here? Sometimes you have to, here we go. So it's one of these. Oh, I know what it is. It's called employee drop down. So everything works. Oh, that one. Oh, we need to change that. So we need to rename this. So this is called week number. Zoom in. Week number, right? I think we have everything we need to save the data. Zoom in so you can see. So we have a patch called what the it's called TBL save time entry. The information on the left are the column names in that SharePoint list, and we are saving these values on the right. All right, so let's test it. So John Davis, on Monday he's working 8 hours. I think I'm missing. Oh, I know what I'm missing. Sorry. I need to so by default all of these are going to have its own variable. I'll explain what that means in a minute. So this one's going to have a variable called var mund enter time right here. And then this one's going to be var twos enter time. Let me just put it in and I'll show you what I'm doing. This is Thursday. This one's Friday. All right. So what was all that? I go back to the insert button, show you the code. So as we are entering the time, we're saving it into a variable, a different variable for each day of the week. We don't need Saturday. We're not using Saturday and Sunday. So I could just get rid of those. So we're doing Monday through Friday, right? Um, so as we're putting in the information in, they're being saved in these different variables, and then it's putting in that value in the variable into this work date. Well, not work date. Um, yeah, it's putting it into that work date. So you have work date here. It's putting it in there. So I'm going to show you. Let me go back to SharePoint. Refresh this. So it saved the hours for Monday. We've got the time and the hours. Actually, just the time. So just say the time. So we got 7 is when he came in, went to lunch at 12, came back at 1, and left work at 1600 on Monday. So this is just saving the actual times themselves. I'm gonna delete this and do it again so you can see it. Let's go back to Power Apps. All right, so I'm gonna put in a time. Say he leaves work at 1700, so that'll be a total of 9 hours for Monday. So it says 9. So at 9, it's already saved into that SharePoint list. I'm gonna do another entry. I'm gonna say 9 hours for Tuesday. And then let's say 8 hours for Wednesday. And Thursday, say he did 7 on Thursday. On Friday, he did 7.5 on Friday. All right. Now let me go back to that SharePoint list and show you what it looks like. All right, so these are the entries for, I don't know, we had Tuesday twice. That should have been Monday. I'll just change it. Let me. So these are the entries for the 5 days of the week. With the employee's name, the time, he came to work, he went to lunch, he came back from lunch, and when he left work. And it also has the work dates too. That this should be changed. I don't know why it says today's date. but from here to the left is correct. Let me go back to Power Apps. All right, so now we have the time saved. What I want to do is, after the times are saved, I want to be able to save the actual hours for the week. So let me add another entry. I'm gonna put in Howard Jones's hours first. See, I did. That's not supposed. It's not supposed to do that. Oh, okay. Well, I need to fix that. Well, this should I'm gonna just show you how to save this. So give me a second. All right, so I'm gonna create a button. Actually, I'm gonna use an icon, save icon. Need Saturday and Sunday. We need to rename some things. So this is called Supervisor Input. All right, so the gallery itself is called Timekeeper Gallery. I'm going to call this job number input. Okay. Not sure why. Oh, we need to connect to the, there's a SharePoint list, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's called TBL underscore time card. Right here. To connect to that SharePoint list, should remove that error. There we go. No errors. So I'm going to show you what that SharePoint list looks like. Go here, site contents. Right here. Delete this stuff. Delete. All right. So we got the hours for each day of the week. Go back to Power Apps. Now we're going to enter the hours for each day. So we just do 7.5 every day. So a total of 37.5. Now we save it. Let's see if it saves in our SharePoint list. We hit refresh. There it is. So John Davis, his hours are saved in our SharePoint list. Let's go back to Power Apps. Now I'm going to show you how to export this data using a flow in Power Automate. I wonder if there's an export button or export icon. Oh, we'll use this. I don't like it, but whatever. So we're going to use this icon to export. All right, so let's go to Power Automate. So go to the three dots. You see Power Automate. We're going to create a new flow. Do I have any questions while we wait? All right. So I'm gonna create a blank flow. Go to new step. And I'm going to type in SharePoint. So I'm going to look for the get items, SharePoint action. The site address, I can just select from the drop down. It's a test site right here. The list name we're going to get is that TBL underscore time card. That's what I just showed you right here, TBL time card. And we'll go to new step. And then we're going to create a CSV table from the items in here. We want custom. So I want the employee. Let's see. Yeah, I want the employee first. Then I want bill to. I'm gonna get the supervisor first. Supervisor, then the bill to. And then I should have gotten the week. Okay, let's get the week first. So we got employee, supervisor, then the bill to. And then the days of the week. So Monday, Monday hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, come on, Thursday, Friday. All right. And these right here on the left are just the headers, the column headers. All right, so now we got a CSV table. Now I'm going to send an email to myself. Send an email to myself. Say timesheet report. Let's put the same thing in the body. Go to advanced options, and we're going to use output from our CSV table, and then we're going to call our file name. It's going to be attachment timesheet.csv. Okay, so make sure you see that. So you got who it's going to be sent to, the subject, the body, the attachment name, and the content. Save this flow. Employee timesheet. All right, so now we have it. Looks like it's going to connect to our app. Right here, employee timesheet. So now I've got the icon selected. I can go to on select property. Type in employee timesheet. Run. Let's see if it exports our timesheet. I'll go to Outlook so you can see. I have to log in. Give me 1 second. All right, so let me share my screen. Let's go to Outlook. All right, we have an email, but I don't see the attachment. Wait a minute, it's coming up. Oh, I think it is. Yeah, here's the attachment. looks different. That is. All right. Let me go back to Power Apps. Let's edit this flow. Y'all have any questions while we wait? All right, looks like it's coming up. All right, let me look inside of here, see what's going on. Let's take this out. Oh, you know what? That's what I did. I had this backwards. The content is the output. The name is timesheet.csv. So that's what it is. So now when I save this, should work this time. So let me go back to Outlook. I had to press the button again to export. So I exported it, and I'm going to Outlook. Now I have a CSV file. Should have the data from our TBL underscore timesheet. There it is. Didn't capture the week, but it captured everything else. Employee's name, the supervisor, the bill to, and the hours they work. Is there anything that you want me to show you how to do? Just put it in the chat, and I'll take a look at it. I know it's a lot that we went over today, but you can go back to this video and uh, look at stuff that I maybe went over too fast or whatever. Any questions at all? Okay, well, thanks for joining, and please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.